Hey everyone, this is Vickerman, and we're here with The Last Federation, which it's not a new game, but they just came out with a brand new expansion called The Lost Technologies, and they sent me a key so I could check it out and maybe do a video about it. So it just came out this Tuesday, the DLC did. The game came out in April of 2014, so it's been over a year, and basically a year and a half now that the game's been out, and didn't check it out at the time. I think I was just kind of starting the YouTube channel at that point. Yeah, we won't do that actually. So, yeah, so The Last Federation, if you have never played it, we'll be playing it a little bit here. I've kind of put this video together pretty quickly to make sure that we caught kind of the opening week of the Lost Technologies, which I'll tell you what the Lost Technologies does. It adds 64 new racial techs for the different races, and you'll see some of that. There's a new tech race game mode that you can win the science race before any of the main races. Techs have side effects, and there are champions who are super powerful enemies that you can fight. There's a new type of world called a ring world, and there's a bunch of other stuff like techs, turrets, all sorts of things like that. So, yeah. That may not make a whole lot of sense to you at the moment, but as we get started, I think it will. We are going to go with standard stuff just so that we can see what this game is really all about. So, this is you as a player. You're like a Hydra. Well, they call it the Hydrals. We took the stars and shot down the manned launches of everyone else. Countrymen were the dictators of the solar system, so we kind of had it coming. Yeah, so our race was kind of destroyed here, and you're the last survivor of a surprise attack. 2 other races thanks to a renegade mission I undertook, betraying the other Hydrals to bring spacefaring technology to our potential rivals. Oh, turns out when you strap rockets to a moon, you can catch even the dictators off guard. Interesting. So they deorbited the moon? Is that what that means? My ultimate goal, the creation of a peaceful, unified federation of planets. Kind of like Star Trek, I guess. Only then can we be safe from the kinds of atrocities my race committed and the kinds that were committed against us. Naturally, upon crash landing at this planet, I was placed in captivity. Having no concept of my strength, they did not realize that I was merely waiting. I waited for years. Stardate first. 1 Proto 3000, my dream of a universal federation is as alive as ever, and now the Acutians have finally gotten themselves into orbit after spending so much time with me as a peaceful captive. They were ill prepared for my escape. I have commandeered the first prototype executor. Now the Acutians are in hot pursuit. The Acutians are still in the process of ramping up their space industry, so that gives me a short window of opportunity. Soon, their mechanical CEOs will be looking to make planetary acquisitions. These dangerous, amoral robots destroyed the last remnants of my race after the Evox almost wiped us out. Having them as my enemy was a given, I think. Here they come. I have lost this force so severely that it will be almost impossible to lose. So now is a good time to put my ship through its paces. Still, I have to be careful, and if they manage to take out my ship, I'll be just as dead now as later. Alright, so we got tutorial stuff there, and if you're playing the game, that'll tell you what to do. So basically, as I first saw this game, I actually kind of thought, you know, is this like an asteroids type of game? But as you can see, not really. We're paused here, and in fact, it is a simultaneous turn-based combat system. So as you can see, I've got this little thing sticking out of the ship. That's where I'm going to be moving. I can only go so far, so it only reaches so far out. So I'm just going to move towards the enemy here. Alright. Now you have 3 different weapons here to start with. I think you can get more as you go. So I've got a minigun. It makes short work of small craft and will make a dent in large armored. High range energy weapon that does 4 times damage to shield. Very little damage to hulls. Okay, so and then there's the gravity lance, which is a lance-like beam that damages any ships or debris in its path. It's only 25% effective against ship shields. So every single weapon here has a certain use. So you want to, if you hover over an enemy here, you can see your DPS against this. It says that my best bet against that particular ship is going to be the minigun, because I can get 71,664 damage if everything hits, basically. So we want to select the weapon that we can fire. It seems to me you can only fire one each turn, so we're going to keep with the minigun. Also, there is different targeting modes. There's hold fire, which means you won't shoot, so if you have that active, then you're not going to shoot. It tells you what it is, what you have there. We've got fire at exact point. Then you can specify a point you want to attack. So like if the enemies are coming through a choke point or something and you want to hit all of them as they come, this might be the way to go. Or if you want to shoot ahead of an enemy that's moving pretty quick, that might be a reason to do that. I think mostly target ship is probably going to be better. So this, you can click on a ship, or if you hold shift, you can aim at multiple ships. So it's a good way to decide what you want to shoot. Then there's auto fire, which just kind of tries to hit the best enemies for the weapon that you have equipped, but otherwise it'll just kind of shoot everybody. So I'm going to actually target the ship. Mostly I have been targeting as I play. So as you can see, we took a turn. They moved down here. We've got little dudes that were launched. Maybe we want to take those guys out first. Looks like they are weak to the minigun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to target all four. And let's see. So if you press E, it looks like it clears your list there. If you press G, then that will confirm. And I took out all of them, and that guy too. So now we have this guy here who has shields up. So basically with shields up, you're gonna wanna, and I'm gonna move this way. We're gonna see if we can sort of run alongside him. With shields, you definitely want to use the energy blaster. We'll click to target him. And you can see we did a ton of damage. He didn't do too much. In fact, our shields are probably good enough that we'll recover most things basically as soon as these guys will do it. So now the shields are down. So we want to check. And sure enough, we need to do the gravity lance now instead. So we will do that. So this just telling me there are multiple objectives of this fight. You can kill everybody, or you can dock with a ship with a platform there. Alright, so we took them out. It looks like we've just got these guys. So I'm going to turn on the minigun, and I'm just going to do an auto fire. Should be a good way to go. And now if we make our way over here, and in fact I should have changed weapons, but that's okay. I'm going to aim at that ship. Looks like, and you can see when you hover over, you've got hull strength, shield strength, DPS, etc. So they've still got some hull strength there. We're going to fire a specific target. And looks like their shields are down, so it's time for the gravity lance. Alright, so they are telling me about how I can now change the power levels of the ship, which is pretty useful. For example, here, he's getting a little ahead of me, and I don't really need a whole lot of shields, so we are going to pump up the engine, and we're going to pump up the weapons. And you can see my line is way bigger. He's still weak to the gravity lance. We'll target him. We should be able to blast him. Yeah, so that wasn't too bad at all. As they expected, it's the first fight. You're supposed to win easily. So basically, we leave here. We can see what happened. The Ecutions lost 10 base power, took 13 turns. We did that much shield damage. We destroyed 16 ships. The Ecutions didn't like that so much. And it took 0.45 solar months, which is 9 seconds of relative time. You'll see what that means here in a bit. So here we are, and yeah, the world here is a bit different, I think, it seems. So this is the solar system map, and you can see all the planets have these little icons here. That's showing you what race is in command there. And each one of these starts with a different one. And you'll see that it's really cool because each race has very different mechanics. So the idea here is you can see this little dove here is our influence. That's how much they like me, the last Hydra, which is my person. And so that's kind of where you stand in the diplomacy situation in the universe here. So you can see most people don't actually like me all that much right now, which can be expected because, you know, like they said, we're the dictators of the solar system, and we've been preventing folks from getting spacefaring technology. So actually the Acutians, I believe, are the only ones now that are spacefaring at the start, besides yourself. So the first thing that you want to do is you can travel to any of these planets you want to interact with these races. So the first thing you probably want to do is you need a friend. So you need to pick a planet to go, and what you can do is you can give them spacefaring technology. That'll make them like you quite a bit. You can see here this little thing on each planet tells you how long it's going to be before each one of these races gets spacefaring technology on their own. So you can see the Thoraxians are only 31 seconds away. So that's a bit concerning because they're pretty tough and pretty annoying to try to work with. But I think just for this video, we're gonna just go over here to the Skylaxians, I think, to start things off. So we got planet details. We've got, it's an ice dwarf. Owner compatibility, less than 1 is bad. So basically this is saying the Skylaxians, you know, biologically they're not too fond of their own planet. I mean, it's way better than some ratings that I've seen, but it's not positive. It's not over 1. So there's that. So what we can do in each planet, you can see right now we're paused, and as we take actions, time will go forward. And it's based on a solar month, which I guess directly relates to real time. So it'll tell you usually how long in real time some of the stuff is going on as well. Now, this whole thing is what I think this game is really cool, and why I decided to go ahead and do the video about it. It's because each of these races has such a vastly different system. So let's go to friendly acts. We can't really interact with these folks until they become spacefaring themselves. So we are going to give spacefaring technology to the Skylaxians to start out. So this is just telling me about friendly actions, and as we do good stuff, we get credit, which is sort of, I mean, it basically functions as currency, but it's supposed to be like a social currency. So and you can use them anywhere once you get it. So so we've got 2 different actions to start with. We can get a diplomat, which I think I will, because I would like to work with the Skylaxians probably long term. And then what we can do is deliver spacefaring technology. This gives you an idea of what's going on. Then it tells you what all the impact's going to be. So you get 14,000 credit, pretty good. They give you a plus 50 influence, which makes them like me instead of being apathetic to somewhat hostile. They become spacefaring, which means we can do more stuff. And you'll see how this works. We do risk making other spacefaring races not happy by doing this. And you can imagine why. So you can see these little spy satellites. They are going to be shooting bullets out around themselves in different patterns. And, you know, it's kind of like getting through a laser security system. You got to make sure you don't get hit by that, because when you do, each one of those bullets takes an influence hit. So that's kind of how this works. Kind of an odd system, but I think it's cool. I mean, now what happens is, as more races become spacefaring, this gets a whole lot more crowded.
They are an advanced species and disapprove of your race's past actions. However, they may just be the key to forming a federation, as their powers of persuasion over the other races are non-trivial.
So you can see they explain that sort of the speciality of the Skylaxians here. So now we have a whole lot more friendly activities that we can do. We can do a joint mission to help destroy a pirate base. Might not be a bad thing to do. There are dispatches, which basically are things that you can do over time for as long as you want, it seems like to me, that make changes to the planet that, you know, maybe you want to do. And now down here is the government of the planet, and it tells you a bit about them, and each one of these is very different. This is one of the very cool things about this game here. The Skylaxian Senate is an interplanetary body that makes all decisions for the race. The Skylaxians are seen as fair brokers by all the other races. Good relationship with them can help you backdoor other races into the Federation, even if they hate you. Trouble is, the Skylaxians are likely to take issue with many of your activities. So you gotta basically play it cool. Make sure that they like what you have to do. So as you can see, we've got senatorial stances on issues, and this stuff changes over time. So yeah, and there's different speakers, and all this stuff is different for each race, and you'll see as we go that that's the case. So the Skylaxians here, basically right now, it seems like they are pretty interested in war and trade. They are not interested in the Federation, which means forming the Federation. That's what you're trying to do to win. So obviously when you start, they aren't going to be interested in that at all. Some other things they don't like is anti-tax rhetoric. So they want tax. Anti-crime, they're not concerned with that, I suppose. So Senate isn't interested in how this precious technology was obtained, only that you are allowing us access to it. Okay, so that's kind of their thoughts. So we can see, yeah, they got all sorts of things that you can do here with them, and it usually costs some credit to do, with some exceptions based on the race. So I think, to me, it seems like some of the best things to do for these folks is to go ahead and colonize whatever moons they happen to have, so they can get a little resources going on. Establishing trade routes seems like a good thing for me to do. To me, it seems like a good thing. Okay, we can't do any Federation deals, so that's really about all we can do at the moment.
The Thraxians are now spacefaring. Searching dictionary.
So the Thraxians have
extreme danger. Done.
become spacefaring,
Doom is
and
to
they're
raise in my
warlike.
turn.
You can see their force here is a relative strength of 224, which is pretty darn high. So we want to make sure that they don't just destroy everyone, right? So what I think we may do is, did we have this one here? I'm gonna go ahead and do this thing. I don't know how useful that'll be, but it'll give them a boost to starship production. And right now we have a lot of things that have not unlocked because this is sort of a tutorialized campaign in this particular setup. So we are going to, I think, maybe help them destroy a pirate base. Everyone really kind of likes that. The trouble with this is it tends to, it does tend to make, oh, let's adjust this before I forget. We need a little bit more balanced approach here. One time I came in with a high engine, like no shields, and lost pretty immediately. So yes, don't do that. And I'm just gonna do auto fire myself. Or what was I saying? Yes, the trouble with doing this is it seems to me that a lot of times your ally takes a lot of losses. So there's some give and take here. There's a give and take in everything in this game, really. Alright, it looks like they haven't lost shields. Yeah, these guys are pretty tough on the old shields. And you can see why I kind of thought that maybe this was sort of an asteroids type of game. Because you can see all these things floating around here. And now we can switch to the minigun. Alright, got rid of that guy. Now, we want to head this way. Let's go energy blast on auto fire. Take out these turrets. And these guys are Skylaxians, so they are allied. Looks like some ships that they sent out. Oh, we accidentally hit them, it looks like. Alright, I'm gonna boost weapons. Take the engines down. That should be alright. And this guy needs a gravity lance. So, yeah. Oops, we did not do that correctly. Need to go to target specific ship. Now we can do that. That dude is pretty tough. Alright, we got him. And now, we need to switch back to energy blaster, and we'll just auto fire. Yet again, seems to be the way to go when you got this many enemies. Alright, so now we'll just aim at this pirate enclosure, which is our target. And we'll just try to blast it. It takes the most damage from energy blasters. As you can see, we're still doing just fine. Our shield recharge rate is certainly enough for everything that is hitting us. So as you can see, it doesn't look like we can actually aim at these missiles, but if we hit them, then they will blow up, which is cool. And later we'll be able to kind of stop shots mid-air. But right now we're not able to do that because of the tutorial stuff, actually. Let's just go to auto fire. We'll see what we can do here. Be good to take out the turrets, I suppose. And we'll just keep doing this. We don't have too much to worry about in this fight. And what I'm hoping is that the Skylaxians have not taken too much damage. I'm going to do specific target. And there we go. Victory! Alright, what's it talking about now? So we're doing tech tree has been unlocked. And the way that this works is basically I have in my inventory here techs that I personally, as the last Hydral, have. And I think I can sometimes use these, but really what they're probably mostly going to be used for is for giving to people who I want to have them, you know, to influence the stellar politics, which is really what this game is about. You're like a background player, but you're kind of influencing all these different governments here and trying to figure out, you know, the way you can sort of backdoor yourself into a galactic federation. So, yeah, very cool. I'll show off the ring world that's from the expansion here. I think we can see this is sort of the Halo thing, basically. It's a giant ring that is a world, and generally these are very good planets. So I think we will stop there, but I do hope to do some more videos of this so I can really show you sort of what this politics stuff is all about, because I think it really is cool. It's kind of almost to the paradoxian levels of Crusader Kings and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think the combat is solid and fun. The diplomacy is at first kind of difficult to get, but as you go, you start to see how interesting it can be. And we haven't even unlocked everything that's involved in that yet from the tutorial. But alas, I speak too much, I think, at times, but I'm trying to help you understand the game. So we have run out of time, but I will be making some more videos here, so stay tuned for more of The Last Federation. See you then.